As a breakfast in Plus TV Africa, we head straight to looking at party politics and whether or not the People's Democratic Party will clinch to power in 2023. Now, former presidential aide Reno Omokri has revealed why the People's Democratic Party might lose its chance of regaining power in the 2023 general elections. According to the former aide to ex-president Goodluck Jonathan, he said that the main opposition party will lose if the All Progressive Congress zones its presidential ticket to the southwest and the PDP zones it to a region with lower voting strength. Omokri, in a post on his Twitter account, took out time to analyze how the PDP can lose the electoral process and what it has to do to regain power in 2023. You also have the former presidential aide for the stated that the politics is a game of number and not of sentiment. We do have a public affairs analyst who joins the conversation this morning, Nick Agule. It's good to have you join us.
Yeah.
All right, so Nick Agule, a quick one. It's good to have you join us this morning. All right. So we seem to have a bit of a network issue or connection issue. As soon as we're able to connect with him, we'll have him back online. So do we have Nick Agule back?
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
It's good to have you join us.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's quickly look at the analysis of the former presidential aide. He's been very critical of President Muhammad Buhari's administration. He talks about the fact that the 2019 elections, if you look at the number of votes and voting strength, you have that the Northwest had 8.2 million votes. You know, you have the North Central having 4.4 million. You have the Northeast having 4.3 million. And you also have the Southwest 3.8 million, South 3.2 million, and the Southeast 2.09 million. Now, he says that if the APC gives the ticket to the Southwest, the PDP will lose. If it gives the ticket to any zone with a lower voting strength, politics is a game of numbers. What do you really think about this 2023? Do you think this would be about all of these statistics?
Okay, so if I interpret the message put out there by the former presidential aide, he's basically saying if the APC presents a presidential candidate from the Southwest and the PDP presents a presidential candidate from the South-South or Southeast, that the PDP will lose. Because it's only the South-South and the Southeast that had lower votes than the Southwest in the 2019 presidential election. So if that is what the former presidential spokesman implies, I cannot even understand the foundation for him to make such a postulation for several reasons. Number one, the PDP have not even presented a presidential candidate yet. And until they present a presidential candidate, you are not going to be able to make an analysis and say definitely that they are going to lose the election. And the reason I say that is that I am a keen follower of the Nigerian political landscape. And I am seeing, and gladly so, I'm happy to see that the discussions, either on social media or off social media by Nigerians in the run-up to the 2023 general elections, is that people are beginning to appraise the candidates on their merit. This idea that I am PDP, I am APC, so even if it is a log of wood that PDP or APC brings forward as presidential candidate, I'm going to vote my party, is taking a backstage. People are looking at candidates. So until we arrive at June the 3rd, which is the last date that INEC has set for the parties to submit the names of their candidates, we can never tell how the 2023 elections will play out, because it depends on the candidates that are going to be put forward. Look, if the APC puts forward a candidate that Nigerians don't like, that comes from the Southwest, and the PDP puts forward a candidate that Nigerians like, who is from the Southeast or from the South-South, we carry the day. That is the way things are shaping out. That is what the outlook is. So this analysis by the former presidential aide has no basis whatsoever, especially at this point when we don't know who the candidates are.
All right, Nick Agule, let me just take it from, let me just infer from your analysis right now. You said the outcome would actually depend on the candidates that the PDP is actually putting out for the election, who eventually becomes the flag bearer of the party. Looking at what we have so far and those who have declared interest, we have the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, we have the former Senate President Bukola Saraki, and the other top shots who have actually declared interest to contest or to run for the presidency in 2023. There is no talk. So far, we've not really had so much from the Southwest, as it were. But judging by the fact that these ones have actually come out to declare interest, what does it really tell on the party's chances?
Thank you very much for that question. Initially, there was talk that the PDP was going to zone their presidential ticket. But we are going to know that on Wednesday, when the party holds their National Executive Council meeting. That is the meeting that is going to review the Governor Otom's committee report for zoning. But from the analysis that you have just presented now, everything points to the fact that they are going to open the ticket, open the floor for everyone from wherever zone to vie for the presidency. And the reason is, just like you have said, there are top guns, real top guns like Atiku and the Sarakis and the Tambuas, who are from the north and have both nomination forms and which are in their possession. So when you have such big heavyweights from the north with forms, you will discover that it will be very difficult for the PDP to now say, oh, all you guys, you are out of the game. We are zoning the presidential ticket to the side. So we expect that the PDP, the outcome of the PDP's next meeting on Wednesday will be to open the floor. And once they open the field, of course, the candidates that are emerging from the south, the likes of Governor Wike, the likes of Peter Obi, in political juggernauts, they are not as heavy as the articles of this world. So if you really think about it, it's most likely that the PDP may end up with a northern presidential candidate. Now, if the PDP ends up with a northern presidential candidate, and the APC zones their ticket to the southwest, it depends again on who the APC is going to zone their ticket to. Is it going to be Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or is it going to be Vice President Professor Yemi Osibanjo? That is going to play in. But let me come back to the analysis that was made by the former presidential aide. He doesn't take other parameters into consideration. For instance, in the 2019 presidential election, the voter turnout was 35.6%. 35.6%. Nigerians, because of the issues that we have faced in the past 7 years, are becoming more and more politically aware. We also have been carrying out a lot of voter education supported by the media, including Plus TV and others, that is actually sensitizing Nigerians to come out. So there is going to be a likely increase in the voter turnout in 2023. The presidential spokesman has also not taken into consideration new voters that must have registered from 2019 to date. The presidential spokesman has also not taken into consideration the fact that the voter apathy that made people stay away from the polls is going to decrease because we have a brand new electoral law that has got things like electronic transmission of results, which is bringing a lot of confidence into the electoral process. And that is likely going to get those who were not voting before to come forward and vote. And also the quality of candidates. A lot of people didn't come out to vote because they felt the candidates that were there was a choice between the devil and the deep blue sea. But if quality candidates come forward in 2023, this will also bring out more people to vote. And also, the former presidential aide assumes that, let's say the Northwest, the votes the Northwest cast for President Buhari, for instance, and they are going to translate the same votes and cast them for a Southwest candidate who will then defeat the PDP. But that is a political naivety, because things won't play out that the northern votes will go to the Southwest once the Southwest once the APC have a Southwest presidential candidate. You can have the APC have a Southwest presidential candidate, and once the PDP has a northern candidate, a lot of the northern votes will go to the PDP, because there are still a lot of voters in the north who will rather vote someone from the north than vote someone from the Southwest. So these are all the dynamics that must be taken into consideration. Therefore, you cannot just make a statement now and say once APC goes Southwest, PDP is going to lose it.
Yeah, PDP will lose it, according to him, if he gives it, to another region that has lower voting strength. But some people will say that that has not been the case, because if you look at 2011, you found that, Jonathan at the time, am I correct? I have to look at that again. If you look at a particular election, Buhari did not win at that certain time, despite the fact that he came from a region that had, according to the statistics and the belief that's out there, he came from a region that had a lot of voting strength. So I want to understand all of this now. Do you think that the voting pattern, and when it comes to the period of election, it is usually about the individual competence who's involved rather than the zone that they come from? And do you think that this would also take prominence in 2023 elections?
Yes, thank you so very much. The voting pattern up to 2019 was based on majorly where the individual comes from. So if you look at President Muhammadu Buhari now, he started to contest in 2003. 2003, 2007, 2011, before he finally got elected in 2015 at his fourth attempt. In all the previous three failed attempts, he had a chunk of the northern votes. A chunk of the northern votes, he had them. So you can clearly see that the voting pattern up to 2019 was showing where the candidate comes from. Muhammadu Buhari won the election in 2019 because the APC was formed as an amalgam of his own party and the ACN, which was Southwest based, because the Southwest were always voting to ACN. So once the Southwest and the CNC, which was Buhari's party, came together, you now notice that the Southwest and the North combined and gave their votes to Muhammadu Buhari. That is how he won. So up to 2019, voting was being regionalized like that. But the point is that in 2023, from what I can see, both on social media and off the social media, Nigerians are becoming more politically educated, and you can see the analysis of candidates is becoming is now being based on the individual candidates, their own CVs, what they have done in the past, and all of that. And it's going to be very important for us to continue on that trajectory going into 2023, so that Nigeria can get a president who can lift this country up. This country has everything going for us. The only thing we need is We need a leader who understands the economy, a leader who will take care of security, a leader who understands that electricity, without electricity, there's no economy, a leader who knows that things like monetary policy, because the interest rate the banks are charging will kill industries if it is too high, or will boost production if it is too low. Just a leader that understands these basics. And you will see how Nigeria will just take off like a rocket.
So, but what? Let's even begin to play by the predictions that Reno Omokri has actually put out. So, what happens if you have, because he's talked about region with lower voting power or voting pattern, however you want to put it. But some people are saying that it is not necessarily the fact that they don't have voting strength, but you have a lot of people not turning out to vote. So you have the issue of political apathy, which is on top of the front burner in some of this region. So what really happens if you have the PDP zoning to, let's say, the southeast or the south and any of this region?
Okay, so if we look at a hypothetical case, and let us assume that the APC have zoned their presidential ticket to the southwest, as Reno Omokri has said, and let us assume it is Vice President Yemi Osinbajo that has got it. And then let us assume that the PDP have zoned theirs to the southeast, and it is Peter Obi that has got it. That is going to be a very close election. It is going to be a very close election because the northern voters are going to make a choice between Yemi Osinbajo and Peter Obi. And there is nothing in the books, nothing in the dictionary that says the northern voters will just drift to Yemi Osinbajo in the southwest, and therefore the southeast will lose out, since they had less voters than the southwest in the 2019 elections. That is not going to be the mathematics. The mathematics is going to be for the electorate to look at the candidates, the individual candidates, and say who is going to deliver the best results for us. Let's say, for instance, the APC sends their ticket to the southwest, as Reno has said, and it is Bola Ahmed Tinubu that has taken it. And then the PDP have sent their ticket to the south, and let us say it is Wike that has taken it. Again, the north is going to be split between Tinubu and Wike. You can never say that the 8.2 million voters of the Northwest in the 2019 elections are going to all go to Tinubu in the Southwest, leaving Wike in the South empty-handed. I don't understand the basis for that analysis. That's not going to be the case. So it's going to be about how much work that the two parties have done to convince the northern voters. Because expectedly, the Southwest will tend to APC, because that is where their candidate comes from. The South or the Southeast, as the case might be, will tend to their candidate, but the entire northern voters, that is North Central, Northeast, and Northwest, will be there for the taking by the parties. So it will then depend on the hard work that the parties are putting to ensure that they have got the votes. But one thing that is emerging, which I must give, since the parties are yet to do their primaries, one thing that is emerging is that I want to tell the parties that 2023 is going to be a different election. Right. In 2023, Nigerian voters are going to look at the quality of the candidates. So if parties think that they can just come and put a log of wood and Nigerians are just going to vote the party's logo without looking at the candidate, to be making a big mistake.
All right,
so all political parties must have good candidates coming into 2023, or they stand no chance, regardless of the region they come from.
All right, thank you so much for your analysis and, of course, all the numbers and all the statistics that you have actually permuted this morning. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. But I just wanted to also correct Reno that he didn't get the numbers of the presidential tally correct. His tally is 25.99 million. But actually, INEC announced 29.4 million. So he left out about 3 million voters that he didn't tally in his own.
All right, noted. Thank you once again, Nick Agule, political affairs analyst. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Yes. Well, that's the size of the show for today. We must say a very big thank you to all of you who have stopped back to watch the first edition for this week. We return again tomorrow with another exciting edition. My name is Justin Akadomi.
I am Mesiboku. If you missed out on any part of the conversation, that's all right to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's a Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. Many thanks for watching. Have a great day.